Good morning, guys. So we got Scott Campsell from Okami Kai Karate on the line, and of course Xenia Mahavik as well. How's everybody doing?
Good morning, Dan. Morning, Xenia.
Good morning. Faring pretty well.
Okay, because, now we got kids back at school, so it's always interesting to talk to parents, especially, well, in your case, Xenia, we're talking about younger kids, and I'm really interested. I've been talking to some parents about how they feel about kids going back to school, and it seems to be like a 50-50 split. They're happy because they're back in class learning, but then there's still that concern about the virus and, how safe everybody is. Is that similar to your household?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's such a toss-up, and this is where, all the experts in the know of what we can know. That's why it's been so difficult, right? So the mental health benefits versus the protection of the physical health and wellness and what that all looks like. It's a new balance, and I think we're a year into this, really. I think we've developed some good coping strategies, some flexibility, but yeah, it is mixed. It is mixed to go back, and some worries and fears from the little ones now that there's different rules where the younger ones are mandatory to wear masks. So some fears around what if I can't breathe, and just kind of managing some of the kids' fears alongside of managing maybe some of our own fears and worries that we have as parents.
Yeah, because that...
And how we... Yeah.
Certainly, I mean, what the way the parents are feeling ends up being translated to the kids.
100%. Yeah. 100%. When we're feeling we're not as good as kind of liars and fakers as we think we are, kids, they can see. So, the one thing, if there's any takeaway from today's call, do everything you can to be able to take care of yourself first. I know that goes totally contrary to what you want to do as a parent. You want to take care of your kids, but if you look at it like, I'm only going to be able to take care of my kids if I take care of me, then you can start to switch that mindset.
In some ways, is it maybe, we've been walking this balance beam since the start of the pandemic. In other words, trying to balance ourselves. Is that balance beam maybe widening a little bit because we are now a year into it and we're learning more things? And while it may be new for some young kids, it's not like they're wearing masks, nobody else is wearing masks, and they haven't seen people wearing masks.
Right. I think the balance is widening, or our tolerance is widening. We have a little bit of the fatigue still, right? Because it's been coming and we've been doing it for a long time, but I think our tolerance levels are widening a little bit more. I remember in September when we went back for the first time after being off for, it was about 8 months, some of those kids, and talking to parents of kids that were starting school for the very first time. And this wonderful pearl wisdom came from one of my friends who said, the cool thing is that my little guy doesn't know any different. So he doesn't remember school because he didn't go to school before the pandemic. So for him to go in and wearing a mask and seeing teachers in masks just is what it is. And I thought it was a refreshing take on, instead of having that fear and that worry of how terrible it is for them to not be able to see all their teachers' faces, when really we are learning. We've been seeing people wearing masks. We're seeing it on our TV shows even, which is so great that it's normalizing that this is what it is.
Right.
Do you think that transfers over to, like, when you're saying that your parents are stressed out and everything? So I know what it's like to graduate from grade 12. So my son's in grade 12 now. So he's going to be graduating, and I know what it was like to go through all of the ceremony behind it, and the feelings that are there, all the positive emotions and everything. And so he doesn't know that. So, technically, I guess he would see his older friends that have gone through it and stuff. But do you think maybe, like, I'm just using that as an example, it's probably a bad one, but do you think that maybe we have transferred that over as parents as well? It's like, oh, you're not getting this, or it's too bad you don't have that, or do you think that that's a possibility as well?
Absolutely. And I think it's a great example because we saw it starting at last year, right, in June, where there was a lot of people that were graduating, and it forced, I think the creativity came out of it was amazing. There was lots of drives-by, graduation ceremonies. There were signs in our little area. We had people kind of out there with music makers and noise makers as, like, parents drove their kids through the town kind of celebrating their graduation. So, we can be creative about it. We can still have it. But I think we do transfer some of that of like, oh, it's too bad you're not going to get pizza day. Or right now, like, a lot of places are saying we're not doing Valentine's at school. On one hand, sometimes that can be kind of cool for parents because we're like, yeah, one less thing we have to add to our plates. But it's just, we have to normalize what it is. It is what it is right now. We can create these opportunities and we can make them even more special for you by being creative.
Right. Well, the famous line is you don't know what you're missing. And it's like, I know. I don't know what I'm not missing. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. But the parent knows what they're not missing or what they are missing.
Yeah. And it's things like, I've had my kids say like, oh, I guess, are we going to go, there won't be ski school this year. And I was like, no, there won't. And we don't really know if we're going to get back into a time where we can do those physical outdoor field trips again. But they're getting to have really cool, like behind the scenes field trips to the zoos and other things and experience stuff that we wouldn't have normally done before because we can make use of that technology now. So it's reframing and also looking at it, this might be a weird example, but looking at it like we're also kind of blessed in a way to be able to experience this because we're not going to hopefully not have to experience this again in our lives. And how can we learn from it?
Right.
And how can we adapt and just really dive into our own creativity and flexibility and discover new things about it.
Well, as a parent, how do we step back and make sure that we don't, transfer these feelings of anxieties? And is it like, a parental meeting, the couple sitting down going, okay, here are the things we're going to have to deal with, and we should probably deal with it this way or whatever, but talk about it before it happens?
I think talking about it before it happens, normalizing it, co-parenting, having those conversations together, and then reaching out to, I've got a little mom group. I've got a group of friends that we all have kids that go to the same school, and we talk about it. So it's not just within our little household, but it's also expanding out into our groups. So when the kids are talking together, we're all kind of giving some same messaging. Some really key takeaways, I think, is answering questions about the pandemic simply but honestly. Like, I know we always want to protect and not tell them, but I think we need to also be able to experience them that this is what's happening. It is a reality. This is what it is. And it's okay if you're feeling scared. It's okay if you're feeling worried. So naming our feelings. And the best way we do that is to model. And then therefore we have to manage our own feelings. So I've had times where I've been super overwhelmed and scared and had a bit of a panic. And then I directly see it within minutes, my kids all of a sudden panicking and having some anxiety. And then we stop and go, okay, let's try to bring it down. So let's take a second to manage our emotions, to regulate. And then let's talk about in systematic ways, what is the thing that we're actually worried about? Well, I'm worried about the fact that I'm going to have my mask on again all day. And before I could have it off outside, and now I can't. Okay, so before that, we're going to do these. What are the steps that we can do? What does that look like? And breaking it down into smaller chunks of going, yep, it's this period of time, and then you take it off because you have your snack, and then it's this period of time, and then you take it off because you have lunch, and then you can switch them. Focusing on deep breathing, practicing these things at home with your kids, too, to build a tolerance.
I think one of the most difficult things I've had as a parent is last year having to say I don't know so many times to my kids. Or they like even can I go and get my stuff? How am I going to get my stuff from school? Like, remember when March break, there were people that still had running shoes and whatever, and their lockers were back at school. And when am I getting my stuff? I don't know. Yeah. Like, and there was a big admission of or saying I'm not a superhero. I don't know it all. Not.
So, Scott, are you saying like it was chipping away at that parental veneer?
Yeah, that's wow. That's a really good way of describing it. Yeah, you want to show that you're in control with your kids, especially try to give them some kind of security. And it's not that I wouldn't have ever admitted that I didn't know something or that I was wrong about something, but at the same time, the past year, oh yeah, like when are businesses going to open up again? I don't know. Yeah.
When can I have a sleepover with my friend? When can we do this? I think what's coming up a lot now is knowing that they are going back to school, they are back in school, and how does that translate with, but I'm at school and I'm seeing my friends, how come I can't still now go and do this with them? Why can't I have a sleepover with them? Why can't we go over and have, because we still have these other orders, right, that are telling us just to limit what we're doing and keeping our numbers small and staying within our households. It's a hard thing for the kids to understand. And just saying, we're taking it step by step. Right now, we're going to do this. It's the best way to keep us safe. School is important. Being there is important. Being able to see them. Remember a couple weeks ago when we were all on virtual. So we got to go baby steps. And then the next step is hopefully that we can start to hang out with people a little bit more and we can get back into our sports and our after-school activities.
Yes.
Because we're missing that, right? We are missing that.
Oh, definitely. Now, if somebody needs somebody to talk to and, it's someone outside of their family and they'd like to bend your ear, how can they do that?
Best way, reach me, alittlesen.ca. All my contact information is there. I'm open for chats. We can have a little consult. We can just see where it takes us at alittlesen.ca.
And you know that your theme is my favorite. Get outside to get inside.
Get outside to get inside. And you know what? There's no such thing as bad weather, just bad attire. So my favorite thing at weather like this, throw on some goggles, some toques, and go have fun out there in the snow.
Enjoy. Guys, thanks for the conversation this morning.
Thank you.